Welcome to our daily reflection for this Monday, December 4th. And today, as this whole week, we're going to hear how the great Jewish expectation of a coming Messiah, the advent of the Messiah, which is, of course, this Advent season, we remember these great prophecies and hopes of Israel. And then we hear through the gospel how Jesus is the one to fulfill those very aspirations and hopes and promises made throughout the Old Testament in the Old Covenant. And so today is a great example, and really, we get this great reading from Isaiah chapter 2, and it's about how Mount Zion, which is where the temple will be built on that mountain, right in Jerusalem, how it'll be the highest of all mountains. And of course, that's great hyperbole because it's not even close to, I live in Denver, and we have more than 54 mountains that are bigger than Zion. I couldn't even give you the number. So when you come from Colorado and the Rocky Mountains and you go to Jerusalem, you're like, Mount Zion, really? It's like Hill Zion. But its theological import will be such that it will be, in a sense, the highest of all mountains. It'll be the great mountaintop experience where God's teaching and revelation will go forth to all the nations. And this is the great and amazing claim all the way back in the time of the prophet Isaiah, for him to foretell that all the nations will stream towards Mount Zion, and they will get the Torah instruction, they will get the law, and they will follow the God of Israel. That's crazy talk, because the nations at this point all have their own gods. And for the idea that the nations will give up their own gods and follow the God of Israel, and that they would want to make pilgrimage, a religious pilgrimage, to Jerusalem and to Mount Zion. Again, that sounds absurd, but it's fulfilled. And what's striking, I know right now there's war in Israel, and that's tragic. But I was just in Israel in the spring, and there are all nations streaming to Jerusalem and to Mount Zion. All nations. I mean, you see people from every ethnicity, whether it's people from Africa, from South America, people from Malaysia, Hong Kong, Russia, all over Europe, and of course even the United States. And so you see all these different ethnicities. You see people from all these places coming. Why? Because of the new covenant. Because the Messiah has come, and everyone wants to go back to this land of Israel that seems so inconsequential to all the nations, because their Lord was born there in Bethlehem, and because their Lord taught throughout that land. And so that prophecy is fulfilled. And we see that, the readings today, Psalm 122, a psalm of ascent. I rejoiced and they said to me, let us go to the house of the Lord. And now not only do the Jews make pilgrimage there, but the Gentiles do as well. All the Christians go to the promised land. And then Jesus' story here in the gospel, we're to read this gospel story in light of Advent. And the idea here is that a centurion comes to Jesus for healing. And what we see is this idea of the nations, Gentiles, coming to Jesus is exactly fulfilling what Isaiah foretold, that the nations would come to Jerusalem and to Israel and worship the God of Israel. And this Gentile has faith in Jesus, just as Isaiah prophesied. So today, we see the prophecies fulfilled, and then that gives us trust that God's promise that he will come again and put all things to rights and bring an era that would be everlasting and be peaceful is something that we should put deep hope in. So may your faith and your hope be strengthened today. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.